Hello, we are Patricia, Estay, and Javiera Bustamante. We are from Section 4, IEL1, and we're about to do the second task, integrated task required for units number 3, Diversity in Chile, and number 4, Diversity. Now, if we think about it, diversity, it's a concept that has been part of us since the very beginning of humanity. It is globally and very well known that we're all different, but diversity goes way beyond that. Diversity is present everywhere and in everyone.
But we think that one of the most important types of diversity is the sexual one. And there's actually a community that fights for their rights and that protects them, and it's called the LGBTQ community. That stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, and questioning people and their rights to live in a peaceful way. Our educational system promotes the white supremacy and it's totally controlled by men, so it privileges them. As time passes by, students have been noticing this and trying to ask for a change in which we can reach equality, equity, and quality in education in order to improve our educational system. Because we think that no aspect in life should determine how your education is going to be, or much more, how are you going to be treated as a person. For this, we think that it is important to generate these changes starting by the classroom, and for that the teachers must promote a healthy and comfortable environment in order to stop with discrimination and marginalization by any motive.
Now, moving on a little, we're going to mention an article that we read in the Mineduc's website about the Ley de Inclusión, which is translated as the Inclusion Law. And this article was published last year, the 7th of June, if we are not wrong. Now, this article was written and spoken when it was published by the General Education Boss, Gonzalo Muñoz. And what he said was that we want diversity to be seen as a value of education and not as a problem. He thinks that inclusion is present in schools and classrooms, and for that we are in our way to improve our educational system policies that privileges inclusion. However, he mentions that the very big and main challenge is in culture and in the educational practices.
Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the inclusion law and what does it seek. Well, the inclusion law seeks for the regulation of the admission of students in school and to delay and to forbid the shared financial profit and guaranteeing the right of education to everyone. In more simple words, the thing that this law wants is to give education for everyone without judging race, religion, ethnicity, and so on. Sorry. Now, how can we relate this to LGBTQ community? The answer is very simple. First, we think that teachers should be aware of the fact that if the student is not educated in an appropriate environment with a bearable relationship, it's going to be difficult for them to accomplish quality in education. And this requires what LGBTQ does, what the community does, which is to promote tolerance, pride, acceptance, and mostly acceptance of the different sexual preferences, and to avoid the prejudices.
Now, I'm going to mention some facts given by Mineduc in a survey they made to students from 8th grade in different schools along Chile, the complete country. And I'm going to read some statistics they gave. And 1 in every 5 students states that threats are very common between students. 1 in every 10 students states being a victim of bullying, school bullying, and feeling affected by it, and 25% of them lives this on a daily basis. Half of the interviewed students testifies that teachers and directors don't do anything about it because they are not conscious of the bullying situations. However, 75% of them states that they do something, but when they only realize that the bullying is happening.
Well, that evidences how bad the situation was back in that time, but now with the inclusion law, we have the chance to improve our educational systems and make it better for everybody in order to get them to enjoy the learning process and enjoy their culture and their own principles. So we also think that it's very important to end patriarchy and with the white supremacy system that is trying to take control of us, and start living our lives and start receiving the education we deserve and the education we all should have had since the beginning, because we know that the situation is very complicated for people that is from different parts of the countries or that have different ethnicities and so on. So
therefore, if we teach them to accept everyone, no matter their special needs, if they're immigrants, their sexual preferences, their language, their religion, everything that makes us different, but still with that we can reassure that we're all human and we all should receive the same education no matter what, we can accomplish the main goal, that it's quality, equity, and equality in education.
Because education is something that it's a right, not a privilege. So,
and with that being said, we can conclude that, and relating it to the main units in this topic, number 3, education in Chile, and number 4, diversity, we can say that one important thing is the critical pedagogy, that it's the agent of change direct from the classrooms. And the concept of quality should respond to the different contexts according to countries and societies and the very different cultures that everyone has. And at last but not least, we need to understand that diversity is a very complex and multifaceted phenomenon. Thank you.